because we've got Ashleigh Mayfield here, which I'm so excited about. Most of you know who she is, and we fangirl over her all of the time, and we watch her live videos and just are so grateful for her. And for those of you that don't know, she is also underneath Amber Parker, so she's a real, true sister sideline to us. She's been in the business for 4 years now, reached the top of the company, top 25 income earner, got her husband to Presidential Diamond. She lives in Bradenton, Florida, which is right around corporate headquarters, and just a giver and a true leader. And so when she posted in the Lifers page that she was willing to do calls for people, first off, I thought you were kind of crazy because, of course, everyone is going to want you on their call. But, she offered to do this one with us. And Ashleigh, just to kind of preface what this call is, we call it our Leader of Leaders call. We do it at the very beginning of every month. And so the people who are on this call either had 10 or more enrollments in the month of April, they completed their steps to success, or, we give a little drawing entry, a little kind of like lucky freebie get in. If they run their auto shipment on the 1st and get themselves commission qualified, it shows that they're taking their business seriously. And so we've got quite a few on and quite a few more that will be hopping on just a little bit late. But will you just start with your story a little bit for the ones who don't know you?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm not going to lie, I kind of puckered up. I was like looking at my phone when I hopped on, and I realized I had like turned my volume all the way down. So then I saw you talking. I was like, oh my God, what time is it? I'm like coming down because y'all, Tamika Davis, I'm on Tamika's call. Okay. I got to like mind my P's and Q's here. I love it. So I did share this with some of my leaders, so they might be hopping on too. But I'm so honored to be here, you guys. I absolutely love Tamika. Like, you guys have a phenomenal leader. Okay. Like, I'm here, like I'm on the PAX turf tonight, and I'm excited about that. So it's always an honor to be able to come and share. So thank you, Tamika. I have been in the business for this month will be 4 years. So crazy to say that because this is not what I expected. 4 years ago, my life literally looked a lot different. I was drowning in debt. I was a full-time retail manager. Jason was a pastor on staff at a church, and I was just tired. There's nothing more, nothing less. I am 60% red, but you guys, I wish to God I was more driven by money. My red is not what drives me. It is, but sometimes it's my blue. And so I didn't know anything about the colors back then though. Anyways, so I just wanted, like, my blue was out of control. I was so rebellious. I wanted someone to stop telling me what time I had to wake up, asking permission to go to the bathroom, asking permission to take a lunch break, like asking permission to have vacation with my kids. And I was so freaking tired of it. And I was following a total stranger online, and it took me 18 months to jump in. I'd love for everyone right now to drop how long did it take you to say yes to your enroller in the chat? Because I think it's always interesting perspective. Some people are like 24 hours, one day. Other people are like me, where they're like years, Took me 18 months. I thought she was a scam for the first 12. And something powerful happened at month 12 of her consistency, at month 12 of her dedication and not giving up. I never liked, I never commented. I was never a potential. But at month 12, I walked into my office and sat down at a cold desk, avoiding doing the schedule for the next week. And I realized in 12 months I'd been following this chick, her life completely changed. And I was same car, same house, same clothes, same pay, same everything. But she changed her life. So what if what she was doing worked? Still took me another 6 months to say yes. When I jumped in, I wanted to go Ruby only because the company was giving away a free cruise in 2016, just like they gave away Margaritaville at the end of last year. It was a free cruise. And I had watched my enroller get on it the year before, or I stalked my enroller and saw her get on it the year before. And she basically said, if you go Ruby, you'll get on the cruise. Y'all, I was broke as a joke. I was not working to get my husband on this cruise. I was trying to get on a cruise. I had never been on a cruise. We never even had a honeymoon. Like, this heifer was getting her fat tail on a cruise, okay? So I worked really hard for me, not hard enough for my husband, but really hard for me. And I got on the cruise. And I got exactly what I wanted. And surely no one on here has ever gotten exactly what they wanted and then stopped working. It's never happened for anyone in here, right? But I call it when you tie and you die. You get exactly what you want and you die because you tie. And so I sat at Ruby until month 10 in my organization. And I will tell you, I wanted to quit my first, this month 7, I wanted to quit every single day. And something powerful shifted on the inside of me month 8. I woke up and I made a decision. That's it. I woke up, and a majority of us on here, I'm sure there might be a male or two, but we are women. And when we've had enough, we've had enough. Tell me I'm wrong. Okay. And I woke up and I had enough in my organization. And I can tell you that I have been running in my business since January of 2017. I went from Ruby to double in 5 months. At Double Diamond, I had to fix my leadership. There was a book, coincidentally, Tamika Davis was the one that shared the book on a team Zoom one time. And she just happened to say this book. And the moment she said it, I felt the Holy Spirit nudge me, and it led me to the color personality, and it completely changed my life. So Tamika Davis has a huge role in my life. And so I fixed my leadership at Double Diamond, which meant I had to pull back. Some of you reds are like, okay, but you got to pull slow. Sometimes you got to go slow to go fast. And I had to do that at Double Diamond. But because I did that, I went double, triple, Pres, ambassador in a 12-month period. And then when you get to the top, you get to do it all over again. And so I'm excited. In March, I took my 2.0 Double Diamond, and I'm planning on taking it triple this month because I can. I'm nowhere near triple, but I'm going to do it because I can. And this whole journey sounds really pretty. And it sounds, oh, Ashleigh Mayfield, y'all, it is chock full. I mean, if you don't think you're quitting once a week, something's wrong with you. Like, if in your head you don't quit for 5 minutes every week, you're doing it wrong. If you don't like pucker up and think your whole organization is falling apart, you're doing it wrong. Okay. Like, it is paved with so much tears, so many sleepless nights, so much gray hairs that none of us can control right now. Okay. But that's what makes it so amazing. It's so amazing. And I could never go to corporate America and have what I have. And I am so grateful. I would do this 10 times over. But that's kind of me in a nutshell. I'm loud, I'm obnoxious, and I'm just me. And I love it. I get to monetize my personality, and I get to cry every day. And it feels so great.
So I want to pick out a couple parts of your story. So 10 months or 18 months before you joined, what would you say were your biggest objections? Like, what was stopping you?
Everything. I suck at sales, and I'm a retail manager. I suck at sales. I can't do it. That stuff doesn't work. I don't look like them. I don't talk like them. I don't have bleach blonde hair like they do. They all seemed like hoity-toity. I don't know. Y'all know. And I was just like, that it'll never work for me because nothing like that works.
Right.
And really, I've always quit everything I've ever done. Other than my marriage and like having kids, like, and I don't say that disrespectfully if you have a broken home that you're from or whatever, but other than walking away of my husband and my kids, which I've never have, I've quit every other thing I've done in my life except this.
So going from all these things that you aren't, now that you're in the business, you are all of the things that all of us look at and we're like, man, you're an influencer. Like, you have like really good information and you give value to people, and, you're able to keep people motivated, you're able to start those fires. And then you're also really real on social media where, like when you fail or you don't hit a goal or you're struggling with something, you're still able to show that. So, how do I want to word this question? So going from all the things that you weren't and now all the things that you are, what kinds of things shaped you into that and like helped you find who you wanted to be, not just in this business, but in life in general?
So I think that everything that you said is really nice, and I appreciate your kind words. I don't know that I would say I view myself about that. I think that's probably the ebb and the flow of being a high achiever, is you just never feel enough. Like, I can tell you there's more days that I cry feeling like I failed people or that I did not live up to my full potential than days that I celebrate. And that is the ebb and the flow of being a high achiever, right? It's when you open up the $30,000 check and it's not enough. And it's not enough because you're money hungry. It's, oh my God, that, like, I did not change enough lives. You know what I mean? So I don't know that I view myself, I don't consider myself to be successful. But I guess what I can say is that I do feel confident that I have found a place where I can be me for the first time in my life. And I am grateful for that. And I think that it has so much more to do with who you are and outside of the business than anything. This business will just pull out issues that you already have on the inside. And I think that I'm just really passionate about helping people find freedom in their life. And this business is just a vehicle for them to do it in. But I made sure that I spent time growing myself. I've always been a very self-aware person, even when I didn't want to admit it. even in high school, I remember doing Myers-Briggs tests and DISC tests and trying to figure out who I was and why I ticked the way I ticked and stuff like that. So I've always been fascinated with leadership. I mean, I was getting a degree in leadership. I've always had leadership positions in church and high school and all that stuff. And so I've always been fascinated, but I think I finally just reached a point in my business where I remember something shifted in me when I got to be in a fat diamond. When I went diamond, I popped diamond with about 15,000 in group volume. And, you know, on your way to diamond, you really do need everybody that you have. Now, you don't have to work with everyone. That's the beauty of this business. You get to choose who you want to work with. But I knew that I needed everybody that I had, right? We all feel that way. But when I went fat diamond, I call it fat diamond. When I went fat diamond, I really think that something shifted on the inside of me where I felt like I could finally say some things I wanted to say because I knew my whole business wasn't going to fall apart based on one person. And I think I just got really honest. I had already started developing myself during that time. There was a 2-month difference. I started doing personal development in January of 2017, and I went diamond in March of 2017. So about a 90-day difference that I had started developing myself where I really felt like I was changing on the inside. And I felt confident to just fail and figure it out. And I've always ran from failure. And I think it was just in that moment where I was like, hey, let me be a little risky here. Let me roll the dice on this. And now I love it. I'm the risk taker. I'm like, hey, let's piss some people off. Let's tear the room apart, light it up, light it on fire. And then I'll make them all laugh and cry on the way out. Like I'm just like, throw the rule book out and let's roll, you know, let's change some lives. But I had to just change that on the inside of me first.
And I think that kind of leads me into my next thing is, you know, we hear a lot of leaders say, it wasn't until I made the decision. And I remember I was like at double diamond and I was like, okay, I'm deciding I want to be triple. I want to be ambassador. And I've always been very consistent. And there's a lot of people on this call who've always just been consistent. And, you know, I was consistent for 3 years sitting at double diamond. But like, when we say like we make that decision and like it literally turns on and everything starts to shift, what were some of the things that you were implementing, you know, at that time when you said it was November, December at Ruby, you've been running ever since? And that's a long time to be running. And a lot of people, you know, they hit their promotion and then they're like, oh, I'm tired, you know, but you've literally been running ever since. So from that deciding factor, what are some of the things that have changed?
So I think when we went on the cruise, and I do remember Kelly Jo, we went on the cruise in November, and then December, the entire month I wanted to quit. And then I woke up January. I think one of it was just the new year, new me. And like, I know it's like kind of like a little gimmick thing that we just do, but I really think it was a fresh start for me. I really think it was just an internal decision. It wasn't a decision that I was going to go diamond. It wasn't a decision I was going to go to the top. It wasn't a decision I was going to go debt free. It was an internal decision that I was choosing to draw a line in the sand and not go back to my old ways. That I was choosing to take extreme ownership of everything in my life. And that was profound for me because it's so easy. And I know you know, if you understand the color personality, there are probably some yellows or blues on here. And yeah, to me, cause like the antithesis of who I am, but you know, yellows and blues live a very external life. It's very environmentally driven. And so that's why my blue, I am not a yellow. And I love yellows, and I say that very unbiased because I'm not a yellow. They're my favorite colors because they love instructions, and I love to tell people what to do. It's like a match made in heaven. And so I'm like, can I have all the yellows in the world, please? So my blue was so externally driven that I think that I consistently lived for approval. I consistently lived for permission. Like, I was living so externally. So in that moment when I made a decision, I decided to choose for me. I decided to tap into my red and to be very self-focused. And that was very pivotal. I also think personal development was a very pivotal thing that I did. I think that there's a level of ego thinking that we can get to the next level being who we are now. So I'd love in the chat right now, I'd love for every single person, as Tamika drops that, I'd love for every single person, what's that next check that you're fighting for, but like, you know that you can't go out in corporate America and get. So for me, I was a diamond and I could not see $6,000 because I'd never seen a $6,000 paycheck. And maybe for you right now, $500 seems so overwhelming. Maybe for you, $1,000 seems so overwhelming. But what's that? I'm talking, you would get butt naked. You would run through the neighborhood. You'd punch a dog in the face. You'd cuss your pastor out because you got this amount in a check. What's that crazy amount in a check that would light your world up? Come on, 30 people. Let's go ahead. You get naked for Chelsea. Come on, my friend. You got issues. I love it. Nisi, we are color twins. So I like Kelly Joe says $32,677, not getting naked, but you add one more dollar. Woo! Getting down to my drawers. All right, we have 10,000, 20,000, 50,000, 15,000. I love it. 5,371, 15, 10,560, 30,000, 30,000. Y'all are some greedy little suckers. Listen to this. I love it. Light it up. Light it up. Okay, cool. Now I want you to be dead honest, and I'll wait for someone to be honest. How many books have you finished in the last 90 days? Drop that in the chat. All right. Thank you, Leanna. Thank you, Sandra. Thank you, Katie, for being honest. They said 0. Thank you, Valerie, for being honest. Cool. So we have some people who are reading lots. That's awesome. And we have some people who are not. So now this is why I transition, because this is why I'm here tonight. How big is your ego and your arrogance that you think you're entitled to a $5, $10, $25, $30,000 paycheck, being the same person you are today, knowing gosh darn well, I bet my entire April paycheck, most of you could not go in corporate America and get the money that you just wrote in this chat. But we think we're entitled to it, and we think we have believed this facade that we can get it without changing who we are, without developing who we are. We can earn more than some doctors, but a doctor's got to go to school, so why are we not going to school? And so I will tell you that personal development, now I felt for the first 31 years of my life, because I'm no spring chicken heifer, okay? I'm 35 now, but at the time, I was 32 at the time. So at the time, I had went 31 years, 32 years of my life without developing myself. And I was crying because my paycheck was $300. You know what I mean? I had to do personal development. That has nothing to do with it works. That has everything to do with you. My husband deserves the best wife. My kids deserve the best mom. My friends deserve the best version of me. My business deserves the best version of Ashleigh Mayfield. How dare I try to show up to my business and say I'm giving it all I got when I refuse to change? That don't make no gosh darn sense. And so I can tell you that depending on your personality type, personal development feels like a freaking waste of time, but it's that insurance policy. It's called an accident for a reason. You don't plan on it. And so when you want to know how I miraculously come up with all this content, when you want to know how I miraculously pull all this value out of my rear, y'all think that I'm smart and come up with that on my own? Like I develop. So when people are like, I don't know how to be a leader, it's because you're not leading yourself. That's it. I don't know how, like it kills me when people are like, what do you talk about on your leadership Zooms? Immediately, I know you're not developing yourself. Now, I didn't say you're not reading, because you can read all the books in the world and not learn anything. I mean, that's admirable. Some of these amounts that you guys wrote down in the last 90 days that you've read, how have you actually implemented that stuff? Okay. It's not all about numbers. You can look pretty and enroll 50 DTs a month and not fast start a single one of them, which by the way, didn't help your paycheck at all. Right? And so really getting down to what matters, and I'm really driving this point home because personal development has changed me as a human. It has changed Ashleigh Mayfield. And when Ashleigh Mayfield is taking care of herself, every area in her life benefits. So that is the most pivotal thing that I did. And I think through personal development, I found what I liked, what I didn't like. I started finding my voice. I started finding, I mean, look, you can like, listen, I mean, I love, well, okay, I don't like Rachel Hollis. I'm not a Rachel Hollis fan. I know some of you, I know you just like took me down a notch. It's fine. Okay. I love Rachel Hollis's gift. I have mad respect for her, but I'm a little bit more mental toughness than she provides. Okay. And so I understand she's getting a little risky. She's starting to throw out a cuss word here and there. Bravo. Awesome job, Rachel. kudos to you. I'm not vulgar, but I was raised by two Marines, so I need you to cuss at me, okay? And so I am more like, I would rather listen to a Gary Vee. I would rather listen to an Ed Milet. I would rather listen to someone that's in my face, because that's how I learn. And I was able to identify that through personal development. Hey, this person's really not doing it for me anymore. Hey, this book, like Girl Wash Your Face, I get like everybody in the world loves it. It's not really doing anything for me. And so I think you're able to really discover who you are and how you want to become, who you want to become through personal development and through understanding who you are. So that's the biggest thing I can say. Number one thing that everybody should do is you should grow yourself every single day.
And I feel like that like really connects with like you just being you in the business, but like listening to the different personal developments that you need just kind of helps you like go down that path and become that person that you were meant to be, that's going to help you have the success in the business. Because I feel like a lot of times too, we try and like copy each other or try and be somebody else, and it only lasts for a minute, and then like, who are we?
And that's a lot. You just said something really powerful. A lot of times people are like, what's your top 3 books that have made a difference in your life? What's it matter? They were my 3 books that made a difference in my life. And I think that because so many of us are externally driven, we're waiting for the secret sauce. We're waiting for the secret book that's going to change our life. We're waiting for the secret event that's going to make a huge impact. We're waiting for the super secret script that's going to bring in all the customers. And you guys, you are your secret sauce. It's not out there. So when you're just chasing the next hot leader with the next book recommendation, all you're doing is following a book that changed their life, but you don't know what they were walking through. You don't know why God brought that book. I could tell y'all the book that Tamika said that made the world, like it's one of the 3 pivotal books that has transformed who I am. It don't matter because you weren't in that place needing the content that God downloaded to me. Does that make sense? Like, do you guys get what I'm saying? And so when we're just looking out there for a quick fix, we're just looking for a Band-Aid when you need surgery. You got to cut yourself open, and that takes some time. But I promise you, the longevity in that, the residual in that, it's life-changing. It's life-changing. The
Absolutely.
whole, I mean, thank God it's not. And you need to hear me say that it's not. We are a debt-free company. But the company can go under tomorrow, and I'm going to be okay because I've got it up here. You know what I mean? And when you can say that, that's what's powerful about life, because my life is not hinged on being an ambassador diamond with It Works number 25 in the company. I am not hanging my hat on that. There is so much more about me because I'm consistently discovering who I am. Right.
Yeah.
And so that's where we really got to look internal and not external.
Absolutely. So let's get into a couple of leadership questions for you. So obviously every day is not a good day, especially when you're a leader of so many people. Number one, you have to have good habits yourself, get your mind right first thing in the morning, because when you start to grow, like you all are praying for a team, you're praying for that diamond team, you're praying for that double, that triple, but you have to know that when you pray for that, it comes with new levels of leadership that you haven't experienced before. And so, Ashleigh, what do you do, number one, to prepare yourself for those levels? And then number 2, still lead your team when you're not feeling it, like working for what you want rather than how you feel. So how do you prepare yourself for those levels? And then how do you lead?
So I can say there's 2 things that get me out of bed when I don't feel like it. And if you think that I'm just spunky happy all the time, you really have no idea who I am. You see what I want you to see, my friend. I can even tell you, like, this year's been really tough for me. I've been walking through some hormonal things. It is definitely more of a spiritual thing that I am walking through than a physical thing. And so for those of you that believe in Jesus, you got to spend some time. I've spent so much time developing myself that I have not developed my soul. And so I'm walking through something, but there was a lot of days right after conference where we didn't know what was going on with me. I was like, why am I crying? Why are these things getting to me? And honestly, it was just God getting my attention. But I was going through some things. I needed to see some doctors. I needed to walk through some stuff. And so how do you push through when your emotion's not there, when your energy is so low? I have been running since January of 2017. I is tired. Okay. I is tired. Heifer. And really it just boils down to two things. I think number one is vision. I think that I have a vision for where I want to go. And you guys can want to like pistol whip and slave your team and be slave drivers all day long. But your team will want to work and run with you when you have a vision, because people want to follow a leader that's going somewhere and doing something. So you can sit back and piss and moan, wham, 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 my team's not working. But how are you leading them? Where are you going? Where is your fire? Where is your vision? And I think for me, I make sure that I have fresh vision. And a lot of that, I get inspired through my personal development. I get inspired by proximity is power. I make sure I hang around the right people. I hang around with people that are not rolling around in the mully grubs and that are like pigs rolling around in dirt. I hang out with people that are making more money than me. Okay, because they're not like trivial. Like your inner circle matters. Who are you talking to on a daily basis? My two best friends in the business, we are not sitting back gossiping and complaining. I think it is an honor to say, I don't even know the company gossip. I'm not around those people. Okay. And we have those people. It's okay to talk about. All right. But I'm not in relationships with those people because that's not why I'm here. And so I think protecting myself, I have a vision for who I want to be and where I want to go. And the more I'm filling up my vision cup, guess what it's going to do? It's going to overflow. And so that overflow is what my team gets. And I think for me, vision, I'm also I'm like 60% red. So I do have a bird's eye view mindset. And I do understand how, where some people will be like, oh, it's just 2 days off. What's it matter? And I'm like, oh my gosh, those 2 days that I take off are going to screw me next week, the month after, and 6 months down the road. And so that's really how my brain works. I will also say that I'm a workaholic. Okay. So I genuinely love I love the chase of what this company, I'm driven by the chase. I don't want to say the hustle and grind because I don't know. I'm not someone that's up till like 4 a.m. and wake up at 7 a.m. Like a heifer needs her sleep, but I have lots and lots of vision, and that didn't come naturally to me. And there's still areas of my life that I need to expand my vision. Like when it comes to money, I grew up very poor in a single wide trailer. Okay. Like I need to expand my vision. And so vision is huge for me. The second thing that I can tell you is responsibility. How dare I ever feel entitled to kick my feet up on this desk and not give my all. And I am not someone that markets, be my bestie. Oh, let's go put our toes in the pool and buy Louis Vuittons together. That's just not how I market. Not knocking anyone that does. Like, I wish I could have a ton of besties like that. But again, I think that I'm poor, so I have to work a lot. I market that I will change people's lives. That is my mission. My mission is debt free. I'm convinced I will help take the most people 100% debt free. Like, that is my mission. And how dare I not feel the weight of that responsibility? And I do. When people join me, I feel the weight of the responsibility to help them change their lives and to help them succeed. And so when I am feeling depleted, when I am feeling less than, the responsibility kicks in, because it is not about me. I could literally sit back and run my auto ship and no one would ever know. But I feel the weight of the responsibility. I feel that I haven't changed enough lives. I feel that, I want to see more people go ambassador. Like, it's not okay to me that I reach the top of the company and I haven't helped another person do that yet. And so I think for me, vision and responsibility are the two things that I consistently, I'm sure there's more, but those are the two that keep coming back to me that I feel. And I kind of I put that guilt on me in all, I dare to say, even in an unhealthy manner, because I feel bad even taking a day off. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't let people see that I'm taking a day off right now, or that I'm being lazy because they're going to judge me. And that's a lot of my blue. I got, judging issues, but I'm, I really do feel a burden for the people that join me, because I know that that's how I market. I market that I can help change their life with our system. So.
Yeah. And if you can, maybe think of a couple of examples of vision, maybe that you set for yourself in the past, and then how you casted it to your team. Because I know, we talk about vision all of the time, but it's hard to cast vision, to other people without feeling selfish, but then also making it big enough to encompass everyone that's in your downline.
That question. Someone just asked me that question on a Zoom the other night. They said, how do you cast vision in a way that is not self-seeking, self-satisfying? And the answer is you don't. When you cast vision, it is very selfish, and that's okay. Like, it's going to elevate you. And I think that we feel guilty about that. For what? Would you even have me on right now if I was a Ruby leader 4 years into the business, pouring into people? Like, no, you guys wouldn't even care who I was, right? And so if you're not going somewhere and doing something, and you're not casting a vision to take people with you, and you're not fulfilling part of the vision yourself, no one wants to follow you anyways.
Yeah.
Like,
and I think
you can consider it to be selfish, but have I gotten a lot of what I want on the way up? You're gosh darn right I have. And I've also freaking changed a lot of lives.
And it's like what you said too, is you don't want to be at the top by yourself. You know,
yeah,
like
it's twofold, and your team gets to see you win. And I think that we try to do this. Listen, I got a real issue with the word humble, because people don't know how to use that word properly. Okay. They think that if you're quiet and meek, that you so humble. Listen, there's a level of humility that still allows you to walk into the room. And I remember I had an issue with that when I went diamond, that it was that I had to call Amber Parker and get coaching, because I'm sorry, forgive me. It was my first time as a double diamond. And Malin actually flew to my house in Florida, and we drove up together to an event in Nashville, Tennessee. And I had a Ruby driving to Tennessee from South Carolina, and a Ruby driving down from Michigan. And I got invited to a VIP with Mark for diamonds and above on Friday night. But these two leaders and their families were coming in on Friday night. And I was like, I can't go. And I remember Parker like, okay, like her whole head spun, and she's like, what? And I was like, I can't go. Like, that's not fair to them. It's not fair. They're driving this way to see me, and I'm not going to be here. And she's like, how will you ever lead them if you don't go in the room? And I was like, she's like, you earned that. And what are you telling them when they earn it? You're telling them it's not important. You're telling them that they don't get to see you win. Do you know how hard they worked? Some of them worked hard to see you win. They didn't even show up for themselves. They showed up for you because you casted the vision. And I was like, fudge, you're right. And then I went to the event, and it was great. I loved it. And so, I think it's going to feel selfish, but here's the deal. It's not selfish when you know your heart is in the right place and your intent is there. So influence and manipulation are the exact same tactics, the exact same skill set. Manipulation says, do it for me. Influence says, I want to help you do it for you. And so you got to check your heart. If you're just like only caring about numbers and you only shout people out when they've done, you know what I mean? Like, you got to look at the whole picture. And I feel confident to say I do my best to do the right thing, even if I get screwed in the process. I just did a compensation Zoom where I'm like telling people, take money out of my pocket, because I know that's going to change more lives. Do I want them to take money out of my pocket? No. Okay. I want to make as much money as I can, but I also know it just means more lives are going to change, and I'm not going to stop working my business. So that means I'm going to go change more lives to make more money for myself.
Right.
And that's not selfish. It's not selfish because I show up when my family is sick. It's not selfish because I show up when I'm on vacation at Disney World. I don't cancel team plans because I'm out of town. Bull crap. It'll be a cold day in hell before I cancel a team Zoom. Like, it's either it's Super Bowl or Father's Day. That's the only time I cancel, because the men get pissed off about it. Mother's Day, I'm having a team Zoom this Sunday. I'm having a team Zoom. Like, it will be a cold day in hell. I show up. My team sees me pop personal enrollments every single month. Every single month, someone I've enrolled pops promotion. They've seen me since, some of them have been with me since I've been diamond or double. I have a whole crew of people that helped me go double, that helped me go ambassador. That's strong leadership. I'll brag on myself about that for a second. Okay. I've done one thing right. And, but these people have seen me for 3 years. Keep promoting, keep getting recognized. Corporate's using me. I'm on this video. I have this microphone in my hand. When you do that, that doesn't come to someone who just skirts by. That doesn't come to someone who just kicks their feet up. That comes to someone who's freaking working behind the scenes. I mean, I'm always showing up. I'm always giving. I'm always going above and beyond. And I am not the perfect leader. I am not perfect in any way. I mean, I'll hang around. I'm gonna piss you off eventually, okay? And I take pride in that because I think people need their feathers ruffled. It helps us all grow. Iron sharpens iron, baby. It's in the Bible. So, but you know, like that is not selfish. When I'm casting a vision, and I went to my 2.0. So here's another example. We went double in March on my 2.0. Last month, it was all about them. Last month of my 2.0, and for just to give you guys perspective, your 2.0 account is like another spouse. So imagine I have another top line that's a double diamond, but it's my account, okay? And so on that account alone, last month, because they're all my personally enrolled, they're all coded to me, 14 personally enrolled people promoted, anywhere from executive to diamond. 14 of them just on that leg. So guess what I did this month? It's kind of just a game of leapfrog. I went double. I helped them all promote. Now, that's not all the promotions that were over there. There were just 14 that were my personally enrolled. I'm working, right? I helped them promote. This month, I went to them and said, hey, guys, we're nowhere near triple, but I'm going to roll the dice, and we're going to go triple. And that means I need you all to promote. I need you all to give me one more strong month. I need to change a lot of lives. We got to help a lot more people. Let's go. Do you know when I said that to them? The amount of messages I got privately that were like, where do you need me? What do you need me to do? And now I'm not saying I call all the right shots and I do it right all the time, but when I have people that are messaging me saying, if I go diamond this month, will that help you? I know I'm doing something okay. I might not be perfect, but I'm doing something okay because they want to show up for me too. It's a win-win. We're in a relationship together. And so me winning is them winning, and them winning is me winning. And so vision is not selfish. It's only selfish if you're manipulating people. It's only selfish when you get your enrollments and you stop working. It's only selfish when you pop promotion on the 26th of the month and then you kick your feet up for freaking 5 days. That's selfish. That's manipulation. But when my team sees that I promoted double diamond on the 27th and I'm staying up until the 31st at 12:50 a.m. Come on, guys, let's go. And I'm still enrolling and helping pop executives and the whole nine. There's nothing selfish about that. And so you got to rewrite the story in your head. But is it self-fulfilling and self-edifying, I guess? Yeah. I mean, let's not church it up. You know, you're going to get the most from vision, but you don't just do it for yourself. You do it for yourself and then you turn around and do it for others.
Well, and I think too with that is like you've earned it with
Sorry,
with
that
your
was
team.
a lot.
Oh, you're okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you guys hear me? I'm like super frozen right now.
Are you there?
Yes, but I think I'm frozen.
Yeah. Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Okay. You're good. We can hear you.
Okay.
Your screen is black, but we can hear you.
So, I think that it's you've earned that. You've earned that, right? You've done the work. And so like, I know a lot of leaders, you guys, like you can't just come in and say like, okay, we're doing this. And then not drive the ship, not drive the train to where you guys want to go. Like we've got, like, she's earned that to be able to say, okay, you guys, we're doing this, and then having the message, you know? And so for you guys, like, have you been committed? What are you doing? What ideas do you have? And how are you going to get your team where they want to go? I think is super important. So, I know we've already gone over time, but I have one last question for you, Ashleigh.
Oh, you're fine.
How do you cultivate leaders within leaders? So, you know, you are the tribe, like on the team call, it's tribe is here. We know it, you know, and so
say it again. Say it again to me. It feels so good. Say it again.
tribe is here. And then, you know, we're coming. And so I want to know though, like, how can, like, as these diamonds are popping, like we have more diamonds than we've had in our organization before. We're getting VIP leaders soon. And so how do people become a leader within leaders within something bigger, but also having something of their own, you know, as we're looking forward to being an ambassador diamond team? What advice or tips would you have for us?
Oh yeah, let me go all in on this. The pack is here. I love that. I expect to see that on Sunday night calls now. Yeah, I know that we inspire people and ruffle feathers with that tribe is here. I digress. It makes me feel good though. So a couple things I will tell you. Number one, you do not need to do your own thing. Listen to me. Don't think that I haven't noticed what Tamika did about a year ago, year and a half ago when she started this whole pack thing. I said, okay, success leaves clues. She's getting it. Okay. And you guys have cultivated something. Do not break apart. Even when Tamika goes ambassador, no one has their own team page. All of y'all swim in the same direction, because the way that Tamika is going to duplicate, if y'all play your cards right, you're going to duplicate. So like no one on my team has their own team page. We all swim in one direction. And that's from Cami Pentecost. She's like, no one needs their own team page until you're 4 or 5 ambassadors deep. Okay. Swim in the same direction, because the same way you guys need each other, your leaders need each other's. Okay. And so you'll find power in swimming. And when you guys can all use the same resources, it's going to save so much time and it's going to fan the flame of momentum. So if you even have a team page, I'm telling you right now, I think you should shut it down, and y'all need to just do whatever Tamika's telling you, because she's building something. And the foundation, the ball's been slow to roll, Tamika, but don't think, I mean, I'm like, okay, they got their pack calls going on. Okay, pack. Okay. Welcome to the pack and Parker's page. Like, listen, you guys are creating something though that's powerful. Okay. You're creating something very, very powerful, and you need to be a part of that. So I have 3 ways that I cast vision. I believe, and again, I just believe it's vision. I believe that vision raises up leaders. You have to be able to call something as if it were so when it's not. You have to be able to cast the belief in people. Now, there's some tactical things that I do, obviously, like see, do, teach. You know, I've got a leader. I don't even know if she's on this call right now. Oh, she is on. Hey, Tanya. So I have a leader that just went diamond last month, and I was like, hey, her organization is steamrolling. The girl's probably going to go double organically this month. Okay. Even though she's a very hard worker, but just she's steamrolling right now. And I was like, hey, I love you, but this month we're going to see, do, teach all your new distributors that launch in your organization. And we're going to pass the baton every single week. But in June, you got to launch all your distributors yourself. I can't do it all. You know what I mean? And she's like, okay, let's roll. And so I think it's like tactically being able to do something like that, where you do a see, do, teach, where we have a certain way that we launch new distributors. So for me to be able to have Tanya, like for the next week, Tanya's going to be on every single new distributor launch that's in her organization. She's going to be taking notes. And then the following week, I'm probably going to go over their why, their income, their color, personality. And then she's going to go over simple things that she's confident in, like, okay, the first goal, the first few steps, because that's all the same. And then the next week, I'm going to have her do it all while I take notes. And then the last week, we're going to have her trial and error on her own, and we'll talk about it, right? It's just a see, do, teach process. And so what I can say is there's some tactical things like that. You know, I know some leaders, I do not roll this way. I know some leaders that would say, like, let's say I enroll a distributor and I want to put them under Chelsea. Okay. And Chelsea's the ruby leader, and Kelly Jo is the emerald, and Tamika is the diamond. I know some leaders that were like, oh, I'm just going to put my newbie in the chat with Chelsea because Chelsea's the ruby leader. And it's just going to be me, the newbie, and Chelsea. I don't roll that way. I'm going to add my newbie with Chelsea, Kelly Jo, and Tamika. And I'm be like, oh my gosh, who's my newbie? My newbie is Ashleigh France. Oh my God, Ashleigh France. I'm so excited. Welcome to the tribe. Woo, 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 woo. I'm so excited. You have some phenomenal leaders here. Why don't we all introduce ourselves? They're all going to introduce themselves. And then I'm going to make sure that I'm like with Ashleigh for those first 7 days. But eventually I'm going to be empowering Chelsea, Kelly Jo, and Tamika to step up and take the reins. And then I'm just going to pop in periodically. So I'm really empowering people very early on. And I can tell you, for the level of control freak that I am, at the rate that I'm having to do that, it is not okay with my controlness. But we're growing so fast, I don't have a choice. Okay. So I got to put my feelings on a shelf about how I feel about my lack of control. And I just got to start empowering, because I have to raise up leaders. But here's 3 things that I will give you is in ways that I feel like leaders are built, but it's really 3 ways that I cast vision. Number 1, leaders are repeaters. If you want to raise up leaders, you got to be saying the same thing over and over and over. So we say that we are the tribe, together we create freedom. Every single time I am on a video, I am on a team Zoom, I am on a leadership, whatever, we are the tribe, together we create freedom. Like, that's our mission statement. Okay. We are trying to create freedom in people's lives. And so leaders are repeaters. You have to say the same thing over and over and over. I can tell you this, every month we aim to pop 50 executives. I want 50 executives, non-negotiable. Now, we flirted with it 2 months ago. Last month, we did 45. Okay. And so momentum comes from the bottom up. Leadership comes from the top down. You want to talk leadership? Get with all the top dogs. You want to build a business. You better stop freaking hanging out with all your leaders, and you better go all the way down in your organization. And so leaders are repeaters. If I jumped on May 1st and said, hey guys, we're going to, this is what happens in everybody's organization. Let's be honest. Hey guys, we're going to pop 50 executives this month. And then nothing is said about it again, right? You think about it all day long. You're going to talk about it. Oh, guess what we're doing this month? 50 executives. Whoop, whoop. But you never bring it up again. No, every time I am on a team training, I'm like, what's our goal? Who's going to drop it first? And everyone's 50 executives. And everyone goes crazy because leaders are repeaters. I'm talking about the executives. Who's going to be the first one? Who's going to be last month we popped our first executive on the 12th or the 15th. Who's going to be the first one this month? I'm saying it over and over and over and until I'm blue in the face. Because you're not saying new things to old people. You're saying old things to new people. I'm not saying it for the people that have been with me for 2 years. I'm saying it with the people that just joined. They say it takes 7 different forms of communication to make an impact in someone. So I'm talking, you got to, do a voice memo and a text message and a phone call and an email and a Facebook Messenger and an Instagram and a Twitter, and a TikTok video and all these, you gotta have it 7 different forms of communication. And so leaders are repeaters, and that matters because that holds me to a higher standard. Now I have to be intentional. Don't think when I first started this a few months ago that I had to write down, okay, remember to say 50 executives. I have to write that down every week. Okay. But it's in our culture. It's in our DNA now. And so people know, they know how to make an executive because I'm talking about it. We have a shout out thread that's for executives. We do everything to do that. Okay. And I'll get to that in a second. So leaders are repeaters. If you want to build up leaders, you've got to say the same message over and over and over. And that's where a lot of people fail because they're like, especially like when you're telling your story on your Facebook, right? You're like, well, I'm just saying the same thing over and over. Please tell me you've never said that, right? I say the same thing. I sound annoying. I've already said this before. You're supposed to say old things to new people. So if you're complaining, you're saying the same thing over and over, it means you're not adding to your network. You just outed yourself. Congratulations, Betty. Okay, I use Betty. It's my grandma's name. So I love my grandma, but she's old and ornery. So that's number 1. Leaders are repeaters. Number 2 is now your team has to repeat it back to you. So I make sure that I am so loud that I pull it out of them. I know what the mission is for the month. What's the goal for the month? Tell me. You tell me. It gives them ownership. It gives them skin in the game. The vision is now theirs. Now they're a leader. They're stepping up and they're owning it. When I say who's going to be the first executive, which I probably need, we're 6 days in. If any of my leaders are on here, you want to shoot me a message to remind me to do that. That'd be awesome. Claire, Bear, Tanya, I see you guys. But if, when I make a post, who's going to be the first executive? Guess what? That thread is going to go deep with comments. Tag the first person that's going to go executive, and everybody wants it to be there. So I'm making them own it. They're stepping in and they're locking arms with me, where now it's not just Ashleigh the leader, it's Ashleigh, we're in this together. They're owning the mission. That's how leaders are created. You have to empower people to own the mission. You have to empower people to own the vision. They've got to say it back to me. They're not going to help be a leader if they don't even know what the mission is, right? And so I need them to own it, and repetition is the key to momentum. It's saying it over, and that's where we all fail, because we don't like to repeat, because we're women, because it's the curse of the vagina. Okay. We're repeating to our spouses. We're repeating to our kids. We're like, I said it once. And that's how you greens think. You reds, and Tamika, you got it bad. Because reds say, I'm running. Why aren't you running? And greens said, I told you, why didn't you listen? Right. And so that's where you have to understand that repeating yourself is an asset, just like stubbornness is an asset. Oh, baby, I haven't got time to go into that today. Okay. Who's stubborn on here? Drop a 5 in the chat, because I love stubbornness. So leaders are repeaters. You have to, the step number 2 is you really have to help them have ownership of it. And then the third thing is you have to honor the right behavior. Like when you see someone going executive, so we have a shout out thread in our tribe page. I will not approve any other shout out that's not in the shout out thread. Okay. I don't care how good it is. You're going to put it in the shout out thread. It's not getting approved. I keep my team page very crisp, very clean. I'm very anal. Okay. But I can't stand a wonky donkey sporadic bull crap. I need it streamlined so the meat and potatoes can get eaten. Okay. So, but when we have our first executive, you better believe I'm going to honor the right behavior. I'm going to make a huge thing about it, and I'm going to piss off everybody. And I'm going to be like, Tamika Davis just went executive. She's the first one in May, the first one. And now everyone's going to see the big deal, and I'm honoring it. And they're like, oh, I wasn't the first. I better be the second. I wasn't the first. I better be the third. You know what I mean? And so when you honor the right behavior, it leads the fishies in that area. And so I honor when Claire Bear has cut up 3 credit cards. She's on here right now. She's cut up 3 credit cards. Every time she cuts up a credit card, she's getting her own post in my team page. And people know that that is above and beyond because I never do individual shout outs. When someone retires from their job, they're getting an individual shout out. I'm honoring that right behavior of life change. And so for me, the way that I create leaders is I'm repeating it over and over and over, whatever it is I want them to do, whatever area I want the fishies to swim in. I'm repeating it over and over. I'm making them repeat it back to me. And then whenever they do it, I'm affirming them. I'm saying, good job. Now more people should go do this because this makes me happy, you know, and people want to go where they're praised. And so making sure that I'm honoring the right behavior and I'm affirming people when they make those good. So I know I'm talking about vision, but you can absolutely swap vision for leadership. When you have a leader that's doing something good, when's the last time you told them that? When's the last time you affirmed them? Oh my gosh. And I've actually shouted out Claire Bear and Tanya quite a bit for this. Shout out to them. They got in all their chats this morning. I'm in their chats. I'm not active in the chats, but they have me added as a person so I can see when they get in there. And no wonder these 2 leaders, and I'm sure there might be another leader on here. I apologize. I know someone's going to get mad because I didn't say their name. I'm sorry. I'm not perfect. Okay. But I see them and it's no doubt that they're on here right now because they're constantly leading from the front. And so now I'm going to go back and say, shout out Tanya and Claire Bear. They got on a leadership call that I did tonight and I know they learned a ton. I'm going to honor that because they showed up. And so when you honor the right behavior of your leaders want to do it more. Because remember, a majority of people are externally driven, right? And so if you want to influence, not manipulate, not brainwash, but if you want to influence people, you just got to dangle the carrot in front of them and tell them where you want them to go. And then you praise them. It's Ivan Pavlov all over again, right? You put the biscuit in front of the dog, you ring the bell, the dog salivates. And eventually you don't even have to put the biscuit in front of the dog. When you ring the bell, the dog's going to start salivating because he knows something's coming. And so when a leader takes a step in the right direction, you ring the bell. You ring the bell, you ring the bell, you give them the praise. And then eventually when you ring the bell, they're like, oh, I just want to keep taking steps because this feels good. And there's nothing there for them other than the praise, but that fulfills people's cups. So,
yeah. And I love those 3 specific things, especially because we only have leaders on here right now. Like everybody has people in their organization. And I feel like a lot of people are just trying to do their own thing because they want to be their own leader. But I think it's really powerful to hear that like you can be your own leader in a system that has been proven to work. And, you know, just within the last, I would say 4 or 5 months, you know, we don't have our own team page per se, but we have our own training page that is extremely organized and the systems have been proven to work. And we have more promotions, more volume than we've ever had, more momentum. And, you know, for me, I am that red green that's like, I told you once during that 2 seconds of that team call right at the beginning, you didn't hear, you didn't understand, you know, and I did listen to your live video.
Not you.
I did listen to your live video like a month ago, which was a shift for me about the leaders are repeaters. And, you know, we set ourselves a goal to have 41 executives because you need 41 rubies to go ambassador. And, you know, we were loud about it for a couple days, but for me personally as a leader, it's lonely when I'm the only one that's being loud, you know? And so I think it's really good for everybody to hear, like, let's be loud together. And like, you know, this month, our chat is 100K in May. We're bringing 100,000 volume. We talk about it every single day. And, you know, that's because of your live video that you did that other day that I was like, okay, but now we need, you know, the team repeating. And I love what Kelly Jo said, you know, you're going to start doing it on your nightly calls. And, you know, I've been doing it on my morning calls. And if all of us are just swimming in the same direction, we're going to get to exactly where we want to be and get our teams
Absolutely.
where they want to be. And so I just appreciate you so much. You know, a lot of the stuff that you said is nothing new, but it's so wonderful to hear it coming out of your mouth. And I know that like we have the team, you know. So is there anything you want to leave us with?
Well, Carrie asked a great question about color personality, and I just got a text from Pam Souter while I was on this call, so that was pretty cool. She just released the podcast I did with her, so it's on her page right now as of like 15 minutes ago. I did a podcast with her all on the color personalities, and I also have a training that I did for our company on my personal YouTube where I go through color personalities, color order, color combos, and how you can use that to your benefit and how you can watch your blind spots. So that would be a really good resource for you to take advantage of. But I think you guys have something phenomenal going on. I think just continue to trust the process when you all swim in the same direction. And I had an epiphany February of last year coming out of conference where I was like, how do I get my team to all do the same thing? Because I knew I wanted to put with the chart change going from 5 to 3. For those of you that don't know, you don't need to know. But it was glorious. And I knew I wanted to push for ambassador because I was a prez. And I just got that vision of Nemo in my head, that part in Finding Nemo when all the fish at the end got captured. And Nemo is like, Dad, tell him to swim down. Trust me, tell him to swim down. And Marlin's like, you heard him, swim down, swim. And they all swim down and break the net. And that, I was like, oh my God, if I just get my fishies. And I remember I had a lunch date with Pam Souter and I told her about it. I said, if I just get all the fishies to swim in the same direction, we will bring mass momentum. And she's like, you just unlocked the gold nugget. And I was like, oh, I got it. Like it makes sense to me now. And that's all it is. That's the climb to ambassador. That's the climb to black diamond. Is you go on a cab run and you get all your fishies to swim in the same area. You guys, that's all it is. And why, like, when I say that like none of my leaders have team pages, I never want to stifle another leader that I have. So I am doing a lot better at empowering people to step up and take ownership and take responsibilities off my plate because I clearly can't do it all. So that's awesome. But I never want to stifle anyone. But I will also say that I do not have another alpha male under me that's like strong, that has the experience and everything like me. I definitely have some strong reds, but I would not say that I have another alpha male. So I don't have to worry about that too much. I do think that even some of the strong reds that I have, they still glean from me and they're still grateful for all that I bring to the table. I think there's a lot that I do that even some people aren't aware of. If they wanted to go on their own, they'd be like, holy crap, like Mayfield did a lot more than I thought, you know, but that's not, I don't do that for a praise. That's just who I am. I'm very invested in what I do. But I would just say, continue to follow Tamika's lead, you guys. She's not gonna lead you astray. And I think what I have mad respect for is, and this is the kind of leader I am. Anytime I go left and I'm not supposed to go left, I have no problem apologizing. And you know what I mean? And I think just having that integrity and that honesty, and Tamika has that. She's someone that leads with her heart, but she also leads with skill, leads with strategy. And I think being able to just jump on board with that vision. And is it going to help her cross her finish line? Absolutely. But you're a part of that. And what's so great about her crossing her finish line is once she does, you're next. If you want it. Who's going to step up and be her triple diamond? Who's going to step up and be her double diamond? Who's going to step up and be her diamond? Because it can be anybody. You guys, I had 2 people that were double that I could have popped them triple. I could have popped one of them triple and I would have win ambassador. But guess what I did? In 60 days, I partnered with a Ruby. And we took her from Ruby to double in 30 days. And in the next month, double to triple. I could have took a double diamond to triple in 30 days. But sometimes there's a certain caliber of a person that you want to partner with. And so don't think because you're deep in the organization that you don't qualify for one of those positions. Who's gonna rise up? The wolf at the top of the mountain, talking about pack here. The wolf at the top of the mountain is never as hungry as the wolf that is climbing. The wolf that's climbing the mountain is the one that's hungry.
It's so funny you just said that. I sent these postcards out to everyone, and that's exactly what it says on it. And
that
like,
is one of my favorite things that shocked my system a year ago. I was like, never be the wolf at the top of the mountain.
right.
Never be the wolf that's reached their goal. You always move the goalposts, never tie and die. You know what I mean? And so that's what I would leave you with. Like, why not you guys blow it out of the water? Who's going to be, 100,000 in May? Why not? Like, why not? Because you can. It's just a decision. And it's in moments like tonight when you decide, and you don't decide for a rank. You don't decide for an income. You decide for you, because gone are the days when you're overworked and underpaid. Gone are the days when you're drowning in debt. Gone are the days when you're missing moments with your kids. And if you don't put yourself in the game, no one else will, because it's no one else's job. So put yourself in the game.
Oh, thank you so much, Ashleigh.
All right. So anytime.
Okay, so I'm going to ask my team just to stay on. I'm going